Now for this next example, let's say you want to be able to export a specific user's Google Chat data to your Google Drive. This is how you would be able to do that. Now for this example, we're using the Zenphi form trigger. However, like mentioned previously, if you want to swap it out for one of the other triggers, maybe the Google Directory or Google Audit trigger, you can do that. So our form is very simple. It's just asking for their email address. However, you can add more questions like the start date and end date, since you're able to narrow down the export to only a certain period. So our first step is going to be to create a folder with their user email address inside of our parent folder called exports. That way we can make sure everything is organized. We're going to go ahead and create the export. You can create a new matter or select from the ones here, and you can name it whatever you want. In this case, I'm using their email address and then Google Chat export. And then down at the bottom where it says account email addresses, we can indicate the one from the form. And if you notice down at the bottom, you're able to choose the start date and end date. So if you want to be able to narrow down the data to export, you can do that. We're going to go ahead and loop until the export is complete. So to do that, what we're going to do is use the find export to be able to get the export that's occurring. And then essentially what it's going to do is find the file and save the file. So it's going to find the file within Google Cloud Storage and then save it to Google Drive. And then in a few easy words, you could say it's going to be looping through the information until it's officially done, which will break the loop. And then after that, you can notify your team. So if you want to send a Google Chat message, an email, if you prefer to notify via Slack, you have the ability to do that. So as you can see, the Google export action contains a lot of useful information. So in my message, I've let them know how many messages were exported, the total size, and then also the link to the original folder we created. That way they can be notified until it has been completed. However, if you prefer to add each one of the files to maybe a table, a Google Sheet, Zenphi table, you can also add that information in as well.